Holstin is a psychological horror puzzle game from Polish developers Sonka. They combined pixels and 3D gameplay to bring a unique spin to the genre, as a literal press of a button can change the game from a top-down puzzle solver to a third-person horror shooter. The full game's release date is yet to be announced, but the demo is available to play right now. Set in a quiet town in Poland during the long-forgotten time of the 90s, you play as Tomuś. As to who and what Tomuś is not revealed greatly in the demo, but all we do know is that he used to be in the army, he's not now, and now something called the Ooze has reared its ugly head and is terrifying the residents while exciting hentai fans. Opening up the demo, you get a choice of 3 levels to play. Each focuses on showing off different elements of the game's structure. At the time of recording, I only have access to the first 2 levels. Level 1 starts you off in a house as Tomuś and his bitch of a boss, / partner, / sister, / cunt he knows share the goal of finding a blueprint. The house level is designed to show off how the environmental puzzle, 2XD rendering and oozing atmosphere plays out. Starting the level, I tried to move, but then the game forgot for a good minute that I was trying to play with an Xbox controller. When it finally recognised the controller, I was impressed with the graphics. I know it isn't true 2D, but the effect they added to imitate it looks really good. Details like collision physics, rotating camera to get a better look at the world, and the use of static and reactive lighting helps you get immersed into this world and its atmosphere. First item I picked up was a letter, which was a neat little joke from the developers. The letter is from Snako and states that while the events in the demo are canon, this particular part is not, which did get a small giggle out of me. Snako gave me the code to open the door, and then I found an oversized vermin. A child. The child, named Maciek, gave some exposition while teasing me with some plot points that I will encounter in the main game. He's hiding from the white dress lady, who messed with the power to make it dark. Why? Well, because the ooze, these strange underwater seaweed tentacle looking things, now infest the house, and they hate light, thus making the entire level a light-based puzzle which involves you moving around fuses and light bulbs to navigate the rooms while solving other puzzles and discovering the lore held within. The puzzles aren't cryptic, and Resident Evil veterans may take some joy in knowing that items are highlighted by white circles, so no more needlessly running into walls and hitting X over and over again. My only gripe with the puzzle solving aspect is that sometimes it feeds you the solution if you have the item in your inventory already. Like for example, I found a watering tin. Obviously it would need to be filled with water, and I took it to the bathroom to do so. Investigating the shower to see if it still worked, the game then offered me the option to use the watering tin to fill it up. Now I knew that this was the solution, but I didn't need my hand holding through it. Now is that a massive gripe? No, not at all. It's just a personal one at best. Some people are going to be thankful for that, but for me, I rather would have figured it out myself by having to use the item from my inventory instead of just investigating everything when I get stuck and hoping that something does thing. The ooze that is all around does make you feel uneasy from the way it looks to the way it moves. The unfamiliar nature of this phenomenon keeps you uncomfortable as you try to move around it. At the same time, the use of dim lighting, low music, ambient sounds, surreal sights, grotesque sights, and the scenery design paint a picture of a suffering world losing all hope and life. This is also reflected in the surreal, disturbing artwork for the characters, as even the people, infected or not, look as though they are slowly succumbing to either illness, madness, or whatever is feeding on the world. After about 45 minutes, I was able to complete the first level. Sometimes I got a bit confused on what to do and where to go because the camera angle made certain routes look blocked off when they actually weren't. So a quick tip from me, if you're feeling lost, try a different perspective. The second level puts you into a more traditional tutorial-like setting, a series of short sections that will take you through the more danger-filled aspects. Taking place in a museum, Tomuś will find and learn about items before fighting through tunnels to reach the next safe zone, while reading a series of notes and plaques which give useful hints about how to survive each zone. Starting off nice and easy, you learn about the torch. It runs on batteries and scares away ooze, letting you cut a path through it at the click of a button. Section 2 introduces stealth and enemies. While they may look like zombies, they can do more than just lumber to you. They can run, throw disgusting balls at you, and explode into angry black urchins. They are, however, just as blind and dumb, and hiding in the dark or behind objects makes you near invisible to them. Lockpicking also makes its appearance here. No input required from the player while doing so, all you have to do is press A, and Thomas will spend some time unlocking it himself. Now if you hide well enough, the time it takes for him to open a lock won't be an issue, though stealth won't always be an option. Sometimes the areas are too brightly lit to hide well, so next you learn about dodging. Busting a dance move lets you slip by enemies quickly and effectively. After a short dodge trial, you then get to learn about the Spartan kick. A genuinely useful maneuver that knocks enemies down, not for long, but long enough to Zoidberg away. Section 3. All that fun you just had sliding and booting? Well, now you're going to have an energy bar, so no more infinite kicks and dancing. It refills faster if you stand still or use items to make it infinite for a short time. The energy bar also doubles as your health bar. Getting hurt will turn one side of it red, making that part of the bar unusable until you heal up. Which means you have less energy, for less dodges, less kicks, and then when it's reduced to the final quarter, no more running. When near death, the sound and colours mute in a slight but impactful change to riddle you with anxiety. Luckily for you, the next lesson is about healing items and combining them to get better heals. Using an item isn't without risk either. Be it a herb, an adul, or a coffee sweet, Thomas needs to take a second to drink it like an Estus flask, so healing in the middle of a fight is very risky. Section 4 makes you put into practice everything you've learned so far, while at the same time teaching you the basics of firearms and how much of a MacGyver Thomas is, as he can take nails and gunpowder to create bullets for a handgun. Now that's a genius if ever I saw one. The most important lesson to note here is that the enemies work on dead space logic. That means dismemberment rules. Shoot off the head and they can't see you, but will swing wildly in hopes to get you. Sometimes they swing a little too accurately. Shoot off the arms and they're reduced to a bite attack and are less effective in hurting you. Shoot off the legs and you make a Call of Duty Zombies crawler. In the final section, you get to play with a bunch more guns and it introduces the quick slotting mechanic, which can really mess up your flow. Any usable item that's on the top row of your inventory is assigned a shortcut. The downside is that you can't assign the shortcut yourself to a particular item. So what was a healing item at one point could be a shotgun the next, which resulted in me using items too early, making me unprepared for the fight ahead as I tried to load my herb thinking it was a shotgun. Now, another issue I have with the shooting is the camera switch it does when doing so. It quickly zooms in and out to swap between views. It might not look it in the video, but in-game this can disorientate you long enough for an enemy to damage you, as during that very short but equally dangerous transition time, you can't see where to run if an enemy gets too close. And because shooting drains your stamina, you can find yourself thrown out of aim mode at the worst possible time if you end up in a big fight. To which you might say, well, keep your distance and use your shots sparingly, which is a fair comment, but again, with it zooming in, you can still be disorientated and you'll have to take a few seconds to readjust your aim before you can actually fight effectively. Holstin feels like a game that I am going to buy. Now it's true I haven't experienced everything yet from the demo, but from what I have played, it is absolutely going on my wish list. From watching the trailers, I was concerned at first that this could suffer the same problems Resident Evil 5 did, where the horror is negated by the fact you have a ton of guns and fists available. Holstin, however, has masterfully balanced its elements so well that whether you're pulling a trigger or pulling your hair out over a puzzle, both situations will be scary in their own right. I did experience some tense moments while I was playing. Being fed the story in vague small chunks makes me want to play to find out more. The artwork is fantastic, the atmosphere is great, and I like the fact that you have multiple ways of dealing with enemies, meaning that you'll have to think carefully about what's the best approach and decide whether or not it's a good idea to use the bullets now or later. The demo is available on Steam, and the full game will include new features like upgrading weapons, and it will also come to consoles. If you're interested in trying it yourself, maybe wait until the third level is out. Maybe. But even if you don't wait, There's a lot to enjoy already, and it has a challenge mode where you need to fight your way through a tunnel as far as you can while being chased by a wall of ooze. So in short, good horrific fun, definitely gonna buy it. And that was the Holstin Demo. Thanks for watching everyone, remember you're always welcome at the Spectrum.